Hello, this is Political Logic. I'm Kiara, Ashanti. This week, President Obama begins his big push to get his health care reform through the Congress and the Senate. He wants this bill passed. We've seen the House versions, we've seen the Senate versions, and two things have become abundantly clear. It's going to cost a lot of money, and taxes are going to go through the roof. You know, no matter which way of this you come out on, there are three legs to this whole health care debate. The first being that some people believe that health care is an actual right to every American, just like the right to bear arms or freedom of speech. I don't remember seeing it in the Constitution, but there's a lot of people who believe that you have a right to have the government pay for your health care. But you know what? Let's put that leg aside for a second. The second thing is President Obama believes that the government can run health care much better than the private sector. Obviously, the president hasn't been down to the DMV in a long time, and certainly we all know that things didn't go all that well during Katrina. But let's put that leg aside as well, because the last leg is the only one that really matters, the cost. Right now, it looks like it's going to cost upwards of $1 trillion, and we don't have the money. But President Obama believes if we don't do anything, it'll cost us even more money. You know, President Obama really reminds me of somebody that Stephen Covey used to talk about. He talked about a leader that was going on an expedition, carrying these people through the jungle, and they weren't really getting anywhere until finally he stopped and sent somebody up in the trees to find out where the heck they were. And the guy looked down and said, "Hey, we're going in the wrong direction." And the leader said, "It doesn't matter. We're making progress here." That's what President Obama's doing. He has in his mind that he wants to get this health care reform through, and if it happens to be the wrong thing, it doesn't matter. And you see, this is the problem with having somebody in charge that doesn't have experience running things. He's letting the House write the bills. He's letting the Senate write the bills. But he is not telling them what he needs to have. And it's a mistake. Right now, the President, the Congress, and the Senate Democrats are all acting like young teenage children with no impulse control. They just want to spend money on TARP, spend money on free cell phones, spend money on health care, spend money on bailing out companies. And who are they going to get to pay for it? The rich. People who make more than $250,000 a year in this country do two vital things. They provide most of the new jobs, and they pay most of the taxes. Take a look at this graphic. It shows that the top 25% in wage earners pay 85% of the taxes. But apparently that's not enough for Charlie Rangel. What he wants us to do is maybe move it up to 90%, 95%. How much is enough? Under his new plan, the top tax rate is going to be 50%. If you happen to live in high areas like New York or New Jersey, your tax rate is going to be over 60%. Now think about that. You're going to spend most of your money, half of your money, straight to Uncle Sam. And for what? It's not even going to work. Every single time tax rates in this country have gone up, actual tax revenue collected by the U.S. government has gone down. It doesn't matter whether it was a Republican president or a Democratic president. Every time rates went up, tax revenues went down. So what we have here is a vicious cycle. We have huge health care costs that we can't afford. So what do? They go out and raise taxes. But the revenue doesn't come in. So it doesn't even pay for all the expenses. So what do they have to do then? Go and borrow more money, putting us even more into a deficit. It's just ridiculous. The bottom line is this is basic math. Either you have enough money to pay for something or you don't. In responsible America, this is what adults do. If they can't afford to buy something, they don't buy it. If they can't afford to do something, they don't do it. I would love to take a trip around the world, but I can't afford it, so I'm not buying plane tickets. I would love to have a Porsche, but you know what? I can't afford one, so I'm not at the dealership test driving one. We have to do what we can afford to do. The reality is we can't afford to use this plan. There are plenty of other things we could do to lower the cost of health insurance and get uninsured Americans insured. There are plenty of things we could do to get health insurance costs down so regular working Americans would have an easier time paying their health insurance premiums. But the Democrats and the president do not want to do those things. They are obsessed with having a single-payer program. Even though, if you look at Canada and you look at Britain, the amount of money they spend on health care is more than we do. On average, Canada spends about $5,000 per citizen. We spend $1,500. It's just too expensive. It's going to blow up the budget now and for our children. Again, basic math. If you bring in less money than you're spending, it's unsustainable. This is too expensive, and we need to let the president know this. Check us out at myjbonline.com. This is Kiara Ashanti with Political Logic.